Hi everybody, Backwoods Bob here. Today in front of me I have a 3-day supply of food. And what I have here is a lightweight 3-day supply of food that can be used for everyday carry, backpacking and hiking, camping. You could even keep this in a vehicle, for emergency type situations. What I like to do here is I'll break down what I have here in front of me. First thing you notice, I do have some bottles here. These are actually an energy drink bottle, and they're made out of really heavy aluminum. They're actually like 1/8 inch aluminum. And I can't find these anymore, but I had saved a couple from a while back. And what I have in here is a combination of protein powder and powdered milk. And each of these bottles that I have here, each of them have 3 protein shakes in. And that is basically to have a morning and evening protein shake for 3 days. The bottle over here is the same as this one. How I measure it is the pouch I carry these in. I fit this over the top of the bottle, and it's actually a protein powder scoop. And it's roughly 2 scoops equals one shake out of this. You also notice I have some black lines around here. That's for this bottle. Because to my protein shakes, I add coconut oil. One, it's good essential fats that you get from it. And 2, it adds some much needed calories whenever you're out hiking and so forth. And it adds a nice flavor to it also. And what this black lines is one tablespoon of coconut oil, or any oil, at the top of the black line. So I add that to my protein shake. And what I don't have in front of me is I also carry a Nalgene bottle that actually has the ounce increments on the side of it. Because the way I measured the protein shakes is for 16 ounces of powdered milk to 1 scoop of protein powder and 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. So with my Nalgene bottle, you can get the pretty precise measurements so that your taste isn't off or it doesn't taste watered down or anything. And like I said, it's basically so that you have one of these in the morning. The other thing that I don't have here that I forgot to put out here is in the morning for the protein shake, I also like to add a packet of instant coffee to it. No cooking required, no heating or anything. I just mix it up into protein shake. If I want to get on the trail early while I'm hiking, it gives me a caffeine boost, and I get my protein shake and everything for my breakfast. The next thing that usually I have during the day actually would be this here. This is oatmeal, and I have some tropical fruit, dried fruit in here. And it makes a really nice oatmeal meal. I guess you could use like the instant packets that you buy, but I find if you make your own, they taste much better. One thing that I forgot when I was talking about the protein shakes is that each of the protein shakes with the oil added is 410 calories, and it gives you 36 grams of protein, 17 grams of fat, and 8 grams of carbohydrates. So I want to try to break this down because not only did I didn't just throw this food together. I've seen a lot of videos where people just say, well, I just threw 6 packs of ramen in my pack and that's my food for 3 days. But you're not really getting the correct nutrition that you need, plus you're not getting the amount of calories that you need when you do something like that. So I actually sat down and broke this down on the calorie content, the protein, the carbohydrates, and the vitamins and nutrition that you're getting from this. With the oatmeal pack, with the fruit and stuff added, the oatmeal itself is about 150 calories and about another 120 calories for the fruit mixture that's in here, the dried fruit. The oatmeal has 3 grams of fat, the fruit about 3 grams of fat, and the oatmeal has about 27 grams of carbohydrates, and the fruit has about 23 grams of carbohydrates. Now, get towards the middle of the day and stuff, because usually what I like to do if I'm out hiking, mainly I put this together as a hiking thing primarily, but like I said, you could use it for lots of things. because I like to get on the trail early, and I'll have a protein shake, break camp, hike a few miles, I'll stop, set up my stove, and that's when I'll have my oatmeal. And then through the middle of the day, I don't stop and cook. And through the middle of the day, what I have is just a Cliff Bar. Cliff Bar is about 250 calories. They vary a little bit depending on which flavor, what kind that you get. But they're about 250 calories, about 41 grams of carbohydrate, 11 grams of protein, and 7 grams of fat on average. To that, I also have 2 ounces of dry roasted almonds. And the almonds, they pack a lot for what they weigh. The almonds for 2 ounces is 316 calories, 11 grams of protein, 30 grams of fat, and 10 grams of carbohydrates. So it gets you some much needed fuel when you're during the middle of the day. So that's what I usually have during the middle of the day. Then it gets towards evening time, and my dinner is usually a big meal. And the big meal consists of, it's a box of mac and cheese that I put into a Ziploc bag. You can see the cheese packet in there. To that, I have a packet of powdered milk to make it, more like the mac and cheese you'd have at home. If I had butter powder, I know that is kind of expensive, butter and margarine powder. You could throw that in there too if you wanted, but it tastes just fine. Like, you don't really notice any difference from what you fix at home. And with the mac and cheese, oh, there goes one of my bars. With the mac and cheese, now also to the mac and cheese mixture, I add a tablespoon of the oil that I have. That adds some fat, like I said, some much needed calories. If you're out hiking a lot, you tend to burn up to 2 to 3 times your normal amount of calories if you're putting in 6 to 15 miles a day, depending on terrain and such. But the mac and cheese with the powdered milk and with the oil is 900 calories in itself. And with that is 26 grams of protein, 159 grams of carbohydrates, and 17 grams of fat. So that's what I'd have at night. And then right before bedtime, like an hour to hour and a half before I'm going to call it a night and go to bed, I'll have one of my protein shakes. And I add the oil to it then. And I think if you don't add oil in the morning, I think you should add it at night. Especially if you're hiking anywhere where it's cold at night. The fat in the oil will help your body generate heat overnight, and you'll actually stay a lot warmer. So, like I said, about an hour and a half before I go to bed, I'll have the protein shake with the oil added to it. Now, you probably noticed I got the dates written on these. What I did is I put the best by date of the item that came up the most recent. Like for this, the dried fruits best by date was long before the oatmeals was. So I put the date on here just so if I don't use it, like over the winter I'm not hiking much, I'll know when I need to replace these, and I'll rotate it through and put fresh stuff in. But that is a 3-day supply. The other thing is each day's supply of food weighs 17.2 ounces. So just over a pound. So for 72 hours worth of food, you're looking at just over 3 pounds, 3¼ pounds or so. Excuse me. Now for the total, everybody's probably trying to do the math in their head. Well, you gave the individuals. What's the total? The total calorie count for the day, if you have this, is 2,556 calories, and that's broken down to 125 grams of protein, 94 grams of fat, and 276 grams of carbohydrate. Now you might say, whoa, 94 grams of fat, you can't have that. The fat that is in this is primarily good fat. They're essential fatty acids, like from the almonds and the coconut oil, is primarily where most of the fat is coming from in this. So it's not a lot of saturated fat. It's a lot of polyunsaturated fat, which is good for you, and monounsaturated fat. So that's my 3-day supply. Even when I go for a day hike, I'll usually carry this because it weighs next to nothing. Like I said, 3 pounds. If something happens and I get stranded out there, I'm sure going to be glad I have this on me. So, like I said, this is the food that I use. And later on in another video, I'll show you a more extended version. This is usually like in my day pack or something that I'm taking. When I'm actually going for a long period of time, I'll do a video on that, which is obviously more food. And at that time, I get into a lot more variety of food too, because for 3 days, I can eat pretty much the same thing in a row. But whenever you start going for many days in a row, it gets old really quick. If you've ever done any long hiking or anything, or any time where you spend a couple weeks out in the bush, if you eat the same thing every day, after about day 5, you're like, okay, I need something else. So I do have a lot of variety, and there is variety that you could throw into this. This is just my, like I said, my base thing that I carry, that I can eat this for 3 days without much variation. But if it goes beyond that, I'll have substitute meals for the mac and cheese in particular. So I thank everybody for watching the video. Please like, subscribe, comment. You know, you got any more suggestions? Now one suggestion that I had thought about previously, that Mr. Browning had said to me, is I could have done this into a vacuum seal using a food saver and such, which would have saved a little bit more space. But as it's packed right now, these 2 bottles fit into a pouch on my pack, and I got the Cliff Bars in another pouch. These 9 bags here all fit great into it's a saw size pouch, a saw ammo, large saw ammo size pouch, 200 round pouch, that all those fit into great. So like I said, thank everybody for watching. Please stay tuned, because we got many more videos coming out. So this is Backwoods Bob. Y'all have a great night.